Mental health problems can affect a student's energy level, concentration, dependability, mental ability, and optimism, hindering performance. Research suggests that depression is associated with lower grade point averages and that co-occurring depression and anxiety can increase this association.
So we come up with a study entitled Deteriorating Mental Health Impact on Intellectual Health of Selected Students from Landi National High School.
I am Dana Eunice Piritardo, a grade 11 student from Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics.
And I am Danica Jade Principe, a grade 11 from Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. And we are your presenters for today.
Students' mental health might impede learning. Having good mental health can have positive impacts on students' way of living and how they perceive things. On contrary, having problems with mental health can have negative impacts on students, especially on their intellectual health. This is why our study focused on deteriorating mental health impact on intellectual health of selected students from Landi National High School. The abstract of the study, or this study, was aimed to define the impact of deteriorating mental health on the intellectual health of selected students from Landi National High School. Results showed that there is a relation between students' mental health and intellectual health. The ongoing situation affecting students' mental health had significant effect, evidently, on intellectual health of students. Based on the summary of findings, the researchers have concluded that undoubtedly research mental health plays a big role on their intellectual health.
Here is the background of the study. Mental health is important because it refers to the overall well-being of students and affects the different aspects of their lives. Having good mental health can have positive impacts on students' way of living and how they perceive things. Without a good environment, help and support, knowledge about mental health, and the capability to maintain good mental health, students' mental health will deteriorate. Sadly, students' mental health is not taken very seriously by their family, peers, or society at large. Due to this problem among students, researchers conducted a study about deteriorating mental health that aims to learn more about the challenges, problems, or mental health difficulties they are facing that impact their intellectual health.
The main purpose of the study is to determine the impact of deteriorating mental health on the intellectual health of selected students from Landi National High School. The study pursued to answer the following questions. What is the present mental health condition of the participants? What are the factors that deteriorate the mental health condition? What is the coping mechanism in such situation?
According to our significance of the study, the findings of the study may provide a deeper understanding on the impact of deteriorating mental health on the intellectual health of selected students from Landi National High School. The result of this study will have a great benefit to the following. To the teachers, for them to understand the situations of their students and for to be more considerate to their students. To the parents, for them to realize that sometimes their children are not being dramatic, but it is a mental health issue instead. And also, for them to give more attention, support their children, and guide them to improve their mental health. And lastly, to the future researchers, for them to have more knowledge about the problem and help others to be aware of mental health issues effects, especially on the intellectual health of their fellow students.
As for the input, the researchers used their prior knowledge about the effects of mental health in intellectual health. Then, the process they used is phenomenological under the qualitative research. And for the output, they identified things that triggers mental health issues and that students are experiencing, as well as its effects. Finally, they determined the coping mechanism used by the students to determine what deteriorates their mental health.
The study belongs to phenomenology under qualitative research. It is conducted at Marinduque, Region 4B, Mimaropa. The researchers gathered information from 10 junior high school students. They used a ready-made interview questionnaires. Purposive sampling is used in the study, and the data gathering analysis are validation of data gathered, coding, and thematic analysis.
Mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. It also helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make choices. Mental health problems can affect a student's energy level, concentration, dependability, mental ability, and optimism, hindering performance. That's why we need to know what triggers these problems first. The things that triggers the mental health of selected students are students with an inherited susceptibility to mental illness may experience strong emotions such as anger, fear, anxiety, sadness, and feeling out of control. They may become argumentative or physically hostile when they distance themselves from others. Some believe that health concerns and negative thinking are the causes of their mental health problems. Students' mental health might impede learning. Having good mental health can have positive impacts on students' way of living and how they perceive things. On how contrary, having problems with mental health can have negative impact on students, especially under intellectual health. And these are the ways on how intellectual health gets affected by mental health. Students with mental health problems reporting feeling unmotivated, nervous, moody, overthinking, and awestruck. They claim to be numb as a result of their mental illness. It was practically hard for them to be happy because they relied on the other people's acceptance. Coping skills and mechanisms improve students' class attendance, participation, persistence, even when faced the setback or failure in general, and arm with them to strong, more resilient self who can lead to much more positive learning experience. Students' coping mechanisms for mental health are follows. Students at Landin National High School found removing themselves from toxic people and thinking of positive things may be very effective coping mechanisms. They also say that self-forgiveness as well as meditation, resting, daydreaming, and cleaning can help them cope.
Based on the summary of findings, the researchers have concluded that studies is the main reason why selected students deteriorates their mental health. They also figured out that some family problems and other personal stressors have also impact on the intellectual health of Landi National High School's selected students. The researchers also discovered that the effects of mental health issues on students' intellectual health in such situations mostly affect their productivity, They have a hard time focusing on their studies. Instead of memorizing and understanding the lessons, they always end up overthinking and procrastinating just to divert their attention. After interpreting the answers of respondents, the researchers found out that students' coping mechanisms in such situations are removing themselves from toxic people and thinking of positive things. They also found out that self-forgiveness is helpful, as well as resting, daydreaming, and cleaning may be effective coping mechanisms.
In the light of the foregoing summary of findings and conclusions made, the researchers hereby recommended the following. To the family and friends, they must support them and help them overcome those issues by listening, understanding, and be open-minded. Students must also avoid and be aware to the things that triggered those mental health problems. To the school institutions, they should educate the staffs, parents, and students on the importance of mental health. They should also motivate and enlighten the learners to have full knowledge on mental health issues, on what triggers those issues, on how those to cope with be considerate and understanding towards the students. To the future researchers, this study can be a reliable source of related literature on the impact of deteriorating mental health on the students. Please narrow the study more and have a greater number of respondents in order to have more effective data. Also, construct and address the same research problem in a different setting, context, location, and/or culture.
This is the end of our studies presentation entitled Deteriorating Mental Health Impact on Intellectual Health of Selected Students from Landi National High School. Again, I am Danica Jade Principe.
And I am Dana Eunice Piretardo, your presenters. Thank you and God bless.